Now.
Absolutely. Good morning, guys. Veronica, Etomani, Ibrahim. How are you doing today?
Very well, thank you.
I hope you guys are ready for the stories I have for you today.
Absolutely. Take it away.
Take it away. Thank you. Good morning. I like to say that TVC has a finger on the pulse and an eye on the streets. And if it's a trending story, we are definitely going to be dissecting it on here. In our first story, the former Akwa Ibom governor, Udom Emmanuel, has been arrested by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission over allegations of a staggering 700 million naira fraud, billion naira fraud. The former governor reportedly honored an invitation at the EFCC headquarters following allegations of money laundering, diversion of funds, and financial mismanagement. Now, the petition against him alleges that during his 8-year tenure, Emmanuel received 3 trillion naira from the Federation account, but left 500 billion in debt and 300 billion in unpaid projects. Ironically, he said this a few years ago. Take a look.
We've never one day taken 1 naira of your money out of this state. 1 naira. Everything we collect goes here. I don't need your state government money, not even 1 naira. I don't need it.
Now, investigators are claiming that they have audited financial records pointing to the alleged misappropriation. So far, the EFCC has not issued an official statement on the arrest yet. But my question is, how can a state receive, trillions of naira in revenue and a very fat budget only to be left in serious debt and have so many unfinished projects? It's clear that we really do have to enforce financial transparency and audit laws in Nigeria, and perhaps also conduct real-time audits of governors and leaders while they are in office, not when they leave. This might be coming a little too late. I'm going to take some social commentary. Utopia says, before this week runs out, you'll see Akwa Ibom people protesting and demanding that the EFCC release their beloved Udom. The complications in this country are beyond normal human understanding. Sunday says, these corruption cases are starting to feel like episodes from a never-ending political thriller. 700 billion naira. That money could have changed lives. This is really heartbreaking. And finally, Uchenna Paul says, in case you don't know, 700 billion naira can construct 70,000 boreholes or 140,000 classroom blocks, or 1,000 airports, or 1,000 universities, or 100 bridges, or 5,000 cottage hospitals, and etc. That money could have gone to good use. But I'm going to move on now. The House of Representatives has directed MultiChoice Nigeria, the operator of DSTV and GoTV, to suspend its planned subscription rate increase, citing the country's economic difficulties as a reason for this. Now, MultiChoice had announced that effective the 1st of March, its DSTV premium package would increase from 37K to 44,000 naira, while Compact Plus subscribers would pay 30,000 naira instead of 25,000 naira. The Compact bouquet was also set to rise from 17,000 to 19,000. But following a motion adopted in the plenary, the House resolved that the price adjustment should be put on hold until a thorough investigation is conducted. The House Committee on Commerce has been luckily tasked with probing the recurring subscription hikes and ensuring that pay TV pricing remains fair and consumer-friendly. Hopefully, we hear back from the Committee of Commerce very soon. Now, lots of people are making the argument that if traditional cable is giving us problems like this and these increased prices and these unchecked prices, that perhaps we should make the transition to digital TV like Netflix, Prime Video, Hulu, and even YouTube. However, with the rising telecommunication tariffs that have also just been increased, it's going to cost us a lot of money to even access and have uninterrupted access to digital television. So something really has to be done about this. I'm going to take some tweets on this now. Otaxi says, ask the telecommunication companies to do so as well. And Texas Bema Club says, I don't think the House should be able to interfere in what private businesses do. If the people don't like it, they have other options. You can see the House of Assembly is trying to protect our interests here, but there are some Nigerians who believe that we should actually allow market forces dictate these prices. What do you guys make of both of these stories?
I think that we had this conversation some days ago talking about how it's important that the government steps in and address the behavior of these people, talking about multi-choice now, where they just indiscriminately increase the price of subscription, and several times that the government has said that they shouldn't go ahead with it, they went ahead, and now we are seeing government trying to put their foot on the ground to say, you know what, you cannot continue with this. I think that the government is doing the right thing. We cannot just leave everything to market forces. Who is the market force in the first place? We need to ensure that we put our foot on the ground and ensure that these people do not take advantage of Nigerians at the end of the day.
Well, for me, I believe if you don't like the price, you just yank yourself off, get out of DSTV or get out of GoTV, as the case may be. I can't just wrap my head around somebody paying 44,000 naira to watch television for 1 month.
There are those who want to pay.
And to now think that you know, you have to pay that amount of money, and after a month where you don't have power supply, everything fizzled away into the air. So that's why I'm thinking we have 360 lawmakers, you know, at the House of Representatives, 109 in the Senate chamber. One of them should think and advocate pay as you go. As we do for telecoms.
For telecoms, yeah.
So it is.
They don't even do this in South Africa.
South Africans are even leaving. South Africans are even leaving. You know, on Mars, well, they've lost about 1.8 million subscribers as a result of price hike. So
and they are losing a huge number of that in Nigeria as well. So it's important that this matter of pay as you go, and then we open the market up for other competitors to come in. At some point, we had some persons, Nigerians, saying they were coming with pay TV platform that died a natural death. I do not know what happened. But then, what are we doing for these people that we cannot do for the local content? Talk about other businesses who want to come into the market.
At least
access. What is it? We are giving them incentives, whatever it is. We need to make it competitive.
And we also need to
I also want to look at this thing from another perspective. Our terrestrial TV stations have been suffering because of paid television. And now we have digital television platforms too. They have been suffering. With this price hike, we're going to have more people watching terrestrial TV. We're going to have more people saying, okay, let us see Nigerian programming. And that, you know, will affect the quality of the programs that we also produce. But you know, there is this digitization of Nigerian broadcast media. So Nigerians are supposed to switch. I think the switch has actually been done. So
it's a gradual one,
just to level up with the global standards. But whatever it is, the government should help us, you know, talk to these people. Maybe regulations, you know, on the ground. We understand that they are facing economic challenges, pressures. We are also bearing the brunt. So why do you have to kill us? Because we want to get ourselves updated.
All right, over to you, Olamide.
Thank you so much for that, you guys. Great input as always. Moving on now, in our next story, the Lagos State government has reaffirmed its stance against corporal punishment in public schools, emphasizing counseling as a more effective corrective measure. Now, the Commissioner for Basic and Secondary Education, Jamiu Ali Balogun, has stated that flogging students for indiscipline remains strictly prohibited to prevent injuries, fainting, or even fatal incidents. He stressed that positive discipline, rather than physical punishment, is the key to fostering responsible behavior among students. This policy highlights the ongoing shift towards more humane and disciplinary approaches in Nigeria's education system. I will say that scientific research in neuroscience and psychology has shown that the best way that children actually learn is through play. Their cognitive abilities are invoked properly through positive reinforcement, play, and kindness. And corporal punishment actually does have long-term effects on children who grow up to be scared individuals. But because we were beaten, we must also beat. Let's take a look at Twitter, or X. Waiklumi says, praise God. Why beat children like animals? And after a while, they develop resistance to pain, and some become criminals who flog teachers for failing promotional exams. Emenike Ihianyi says, flogging prohibited care. Spare the rod and spoil the child, Jare. That is tough. In our final story, women from Isuzo local government area in Enugu State have taken to the streets on Tuesday, blocking the Nkalagu-Eha Federal Highway in protest against persistent herdsmen attacks. Carrying green leaves and singing lamentation songs, they've accused security forces of failing to protect them as attackers continue to kill, rape, and displace them. Take a look at this video.
This is happening live in Isuzo local government. We are going hungry. They are sleeping with our women. After sleeping with them, they will use stick under their vigil, which is very bad. Government of Enugu State.
Now, the protesters have claimed that over 150 people have been killed since the year 2020, and 28 farm settlements have also been taken over by the assailants. What is their demand? They're asking that immediate government intervention stop the violence that's taking place. It's important to note that this is actually more than just a social crisis of some women, complaining or just being in pain. This is a serious crisis, because we are now facing a food security crisis because their settlements and their farmland has been taken over by these herdsmen in quote. They also have to deal with intergenerational trauma, children watching their mothers be raped, be pillaged. So we have a security crisis, a food crisis, and the issue of they could potentially be displaced individuals. So this is very scary. But I will say, and I will tell you guys, would you like to chime in on this conversation? Do you have an interesting perspective you'd like to share with us? Please tag us with the hashtag TrendingNowTVC on any social media platform. I promise you we are listening. I'm going to take tweets on this Isuzo story and of these women. Mirabel says, where is the governor of Enugu State? That is an apt and timely question. Anne Foster says, blaming one particular tribe for terrorism is pure tribalism. I agree. If a state is truly secure, no outsider can just walk in and cause destruction. Instead of pointing fingers at a single ethnic group, the real question should be, what is the state government doing about security? This is extremely scary. I'd love you guys to weigh in on this. We're watching women who are actively calling for help, who are facing the threat of becoming internally displaced persons.
It's a sad one. Unfortunately, we do not have as much time to talk on this, but it's sad, and we have seen that they are venting and screaming to government for help. I think that the state government needs to collaborate with the federal to do so much with regards to that.
And for the state governments, we have local vigilantes. They know the terrain. They know the people that are not supposed to be in that community at this particular time. They can point out those guys and get them out of the system. It has to be a collaborative effort, the state government, federal government, and the grassroots.
And talking about the way we train our kids, growing up, sometimes they say this African setting, that's one of the reasons why some parents send their children down to the country for them to be, disciplined one way or the other. But we need to think about how we treat them so that we don't radicalize them and make them, very, very difficult to train or to teach. Right. So we should be mindful of how we treat them so that we don't...
We have to leave the conversation there now. Our time is up. Thank you, Olamide.
You're welcome.
Let's let you know now that the views and reactions of all our resource persons are theirs and have no connection with TVC News. Up next is Your View with the ladies, and afterwards this morning with your Reef or Larry. Do stay safe.